Good morning, beloveds. Some days we make decisions based on what we should do, and some days we make decisions based on what we need to do. This morning, the alarm went off at 6. I got up, I got dressed to go to the gym. We're ready to go. Like literally, we have everything. We're about to walk out the door, and I realized I'd forgotten my phone. So I'll go back and I grab my phone. Now, it is my habit to check my phone for text messages just in case. So I'm grabbing my phone as we're about to walk out the door, because I almost walked out without it. Picked up the phone, looked at it, and went, "Oh, I have a text message." On gym day, the only person who's going to text me before 7 o'clock in the morning is the trainer. Well, he has caught something. He didn't want to expose us. He was like, and I was like, you know what? So we turn around, we set all of our stuff down. We look at each other and we're like, well, we could go for a walk around the neighborhood, or we could go back to bed. Now, what we should do is go for a walk around the neighborhood. What we needed to do was go back to bed. So that is exactly what we did. We both just stripped all the gym clothes off, went back to bed. And I realized, and I was like, I'll go back to bed for an hour. And so, obviously, Tom was just like, okay. So he was up at 7:40 and he says, okay, it's 7:40. You want to get up? And I was like, so I got up and I went to the bathroom, and then I was like, no, it's cold. So I went back to bed, curled up, covered up with the blanket, curled up, and snuggled with the cat for another 40 minutes. I was still out of bed by 8:20. So sometimes, you know what, you should go for a walk, but what you need is an extra hour of sleep, or an extra hour and a half of sleep. It's okay to go back to bed. Okay? It's okay. It's okay to go back to bed. We can make choices. And we should, I'm shitting on us. We should make choices sometimes based on if you need that extra hour and you could go exercise, maybe the extra hour of sleep is more important than the exercise. So the way my schedule is built, I exercise 6 days a week and I have 1 day of rest, which means if my trainer cancels on me and I think I need that extra hour of sleep, it's okay. I'll still get 5 days of exercise. If it rains, it rains. It's all right. It's one of the things that I'm learning going through menopause. It's like, you know what? I was exercising too much. So, but it's just one of those little lessons. All right. It is February 19th. Our title is Treasure Mapping. The first quote is, weird. The first quote is, "Do people gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles?" Matthew 7:16. For everything that happens in the objective world, there must be something in the subjective world that perfectly balances it. This is the law. And that is Science of Mind, page 141. In her writings, Catherine Ponder describes treasure mapping. She suggests that you paste pictures of what you want or need on a piece of cardboard and then post this treasure map where you can see it often. Viewing your picture of a car, a house, a boat, or whatever dramatically impresses your subconscious mind with your desire, and this deep impression attracts the desired experience into your life if doubt does not interfere. Some years ago, I composed a treasure map because my goal was to visit the Orient. Someone gave me travel posters to use. Included in them was a poster of Ireland, which hung over my desk, since this poster was quite beautiful. However, I did not desire, as part of my travel plans, to visit Ireland, so eventually I removed the poster. But I was too late. The following year, my travels unexpectedly led me to England, and I also made a completely unscheduled trip to Northern Ireland. It was on the boat to Ireland that I remembered the poster over my desk and recognized the connection. This example shows how powerfully we can intentionally or unintentionally impress our subconscious mind, which seeks its target like a programmed missile. Thus, if you want divine guidance for your plans and goals, heed these words of wisdom. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and these things shall be added unto you. My needs and desires are divine ideas expressing through me. I release all doubt, knowing that nothing stands in the way of these ideas evolving in the best way for all concerned. It's RH. That's Robert Haake, Haake. Okay, the first quote was weird, the last quote was weird, but in the middle of it, he had very concrete advice. I'm not familiar with treasure mapping per se. I'm only passingly familiar with Catherine Ponder because, my teachers, she was their teacher. But the treasure mapping idea, I know it, we call it vision boarding. And it is quite literally where you take a piece of cardboard, poster board, and you cut pictures out of magazines or draw or what have you onto this vision board, which then you put somewhere where you see it frequently. I admit that I've only ever made one. I didn't know what I was doing, and I just put a bunch of random quotes on it that I liked, along with a couple of other random things. And if I go back and look at it, I still like to look at it. I made it while I was in ministerial school. I may not be that much of a visual person. I'm more of an auditory, I think. I like to hear stuff. That's one of the reasons why I love music so much. Don't get me wrong, I love to read. And I do have an almost photographic memory for pictures. So, there's that. Which may be why vision boards are just like, okay. So you got to figure out, but I'm also a kinetic learner. I like to learn by doing. So that's one of my things. It's like when I'm working on things like that, it's like, I like to go and do things. So that's part. And so if vision boarding calls to you, then absolutely do it. And if it's not a big thing for you, you might consider affirmations if you're more auditory like I am. That's why I'm always talking about writing affirmations on your mirror. Oh, you'll see them every day. You can say them to yourselves every day. And that's one of those, that's where I'm more in that line than I am the vision board. But I know how powerful the vision boards are. There are a lot of people at the center who absolutely think vision boarding is, the end all and be all. And I fully support anything that works for you. And so that's why I talk about. And so this idea of treasure mapping, what is it that you want? And sometimes we don't know what we want, but oftentimes we know what we don't want. And so one of the things that you can do if you're looking at what you do want is look at, if you don't know exactly what you do want, then you look at what you don't want and see, can you turn that around? If I flip over what I don't want, is what I want the opposite of that? And if not, it at least gives you a direction to go. And so if it helps you to post pictures, if it helps you to create a treasure map or a vision board, if it helps you to write affirmations, and repeat them to you. I'm a big believer, if you are any kind of artist at all, do you write? Do you compose music? Do you draw? Do you paint? Paint what you want, create what you want in words and images, and then put it where you can repeat it daily. Like I said, I'm a kinetic learner, so that's one of the reasons why doing this in the morning has been very helpful to me, because it combines both the kinetic learning for me and the auditory learning for me, where I'm hearing these words out loud, but I'm also doing it every day. I think it's one of the reasons why I've stuck with doing the live streams, because it's so helpful to me. I'm hoping you get benefit out of it, but it's really helpful for me. And knowing what we want is important. And here's the good news. You can change the vision board. You can change your treasure map. If you get close to what you want, you decide it's not what you want, but it's close to what you want, change the vision board, change the treasure map, change the affirmation, change the treatment. You are allowed, and that's one of the things, a cornerstone of science of mind is the realization that you are at choice. Always. You are always at choice. And so if you've made a choice and it's not exactly what you want, choose again. That's absolutely the power. Choose again. And maybe that's what the first quote is, and the last quote is, grapes of thorns and figs of thistles. Choose again. If what you started picking up isn't what you want, then put it down and go pick something else up. The one thing that I've heard Reverend Jesse say regularly is, if one of the things that we would like everybody to know is that they're always a choice. Sometimes the only choice we have is what we feel about a situation. But once we know how we feel about a situation, that gives us the first step to changing it. So, that's where we are. All right, Robert, I don't know if I did you justice today, but we're treasure mapping. So, that's an excellent exercise. Maybe you don't have time to do it today, but I would say the mission today, should we choose to accept it, we can start on it, or we can, go whole hog on it, is to build a treasure map, build a vision board. And if putting pictures on, pasting pictures on a poster board is not your idea, it's a treasure map. You can do it however you want. You can do it with words. You can do it with paint. You can do it with pictures out of a magazine. There's this entire website devoted to treasure mapping called Pinterest, which I'm not on. I don't understand Pinterest, but I also don't understand. I'm not, that good with, so, there, you can do it digitally as well. Start a Pinterest page and create a treasure map for yourself. That is the mission today, should we choose to accept it. Find a way to create a treasure map for yourself. And it does start with knowing what you want. So, first step. Okay. And there are, plenty of practitioners that if you don't know what you want, they can help you. They can talk you. They can talk you around, because sometimes it starts with talking about what you don't want to figure out what you do. So feel free to engage the services of a practitioner. Most of us are pretty reasonably priced. Okay. Ooh, I think I need a drink of water. The second thing that I suggest every day, you got your mission, is to do the spiritual practice of something loving for yourself, something kind for yourself, something compassionate for you. Loving, kind, compassionate for yourself. Yes. Okay. It can be one thing. It can be several things. It can be an all day thing. The point is to practice on yourself. Okay. One, you are your own best test subject. You practice love, kindness, and compassion on yourself. You can go, well, was that as loving as I wanted it to be? Was that as compassionate as I hoped it would be? Well, you'll know. The other reason is because you deserve your own love, you deserve your own kindness, you deserve your own compassion. I do say it's a spiritual practice. Part of the reason why I say that is because when you practice love, kindness, and compassion on yourself, you are connecting with the source of your own being. You are creating a connection to the infinite source of love, the infinite source of connection, compassion, the infinite source of love. Absolutely. Love, kindness, and compassion. You are connecting with, and that is my goal. That's why I suggest it every day. My goal is to create a habit, a default setting, a first response, so that no matter what happens, you can have a loving, kind, and compassionate response with yourself and with other people. You're creating a bank of love, kindness, and compassion. So when you meet people who need a little extra, you've got enough to share. All right. And it looks like taking a deep breath before you speak. And it looks like taking a walk. And it looks like taking a nap. And sometimes it looks like looking at what you've got to do for the day and going back to bed for an hour. It looks like eating dessert first. All right. Okay. So yes, absolutely about self-care. No bones about that. I'm not hiding the fact that this is a spiritual principle of self-care. All right. It's a spiritual practice of self-care. I'm also reminding you it's about making room for joy. No matter what is going on in your life, in your world, you can make room for joy. And that looks like eating dessert first. And I mean that literally, occasionally. And most of the time, I mean it metaphorically. What I mean is take care of yourself, make room for joy, and remember that your life is a special occasion. Wear the good clothes, eat the good food, drink the good stuff, use the good china, break out the good silverware. Don't save it for a special occasion. Your life is a special occasion, all right? Practice on yourself. Love, kindness, compassion. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. Absolutely. Because it's a state of grace that we live in where we are beloved children of God. All right. A state of grace is cool because it can't be earned. It is always granted. And it can't be taken away. No matter what anybody tells you. All right. So, bear that in mind. Okay. Practice on yourself. Practice on yourself. The other things that I do encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body, even if I didn't today, I still have the rest of the day to do something. I do encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Your brain works better when it's hydrated. I do encourage you to get early in your day bright light. It's called a circadian rhythm. It's a hormone balance. It's a real thing. You can look it up, Google it. When you get that early in your day bright light, especially on your face, just 5-10 minutes, it helps to reset those hormones. You'll have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. It is science. You can look it up. Trust me. And then as I like to say, and it is a quote from Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven right now. It's all around us all the time. Okay? What that means is it's a reminder that heaven is a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. And once we learn to create it for ourselves, we can create it anywhere. Heaven ceases to be a place and becomes any place, potentially every place. All right. And once we learn to do it for ourselves, nobody can take it away from us. I mean, really? That is the power of your subconscious. You know, Robert ended up in Ireland whether he wanted to or not because his subconscious mind looked at that poster every day and went, yeah, I'm going to go there. So he did. All right. Our subconscious is so powerful. And we got to do what we got to do to take care of and use that power. Well, that's how we create heaven. And we can always take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. All right. So that's where we're at. So I think I'm at the social media part where I remind you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. Feel free to check them out. There's great content on all of them. You want to know what's going on with the center? Please email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. When it says click here now in that email, it will either take you right to the information you want or it will take you to the person who can help you get the information you want, i.e. a Zoom link. So please check that out. There's almost always something going on. There's always something going on. Sometimes there's a lot going on. So just avail yourself of the resources that we've got. And now I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanting day, a wonder-filled day, an amazing day, a Sunday, a sunny day, it warming up out there day, dress in layers day, a go back to bed if you need to day, or a get up early day, a take care of business day, or a rest day. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark, a spirit in motion, God in action, a godling in whom God is well pleased and well represented always. As I have said before and will continue to say, it's a state of grace. It's a state of grace. And it is yours by virtue of you being here. So, take care of yourself. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you at 9 a.m. But before that, if you're watching live on Facebook, we are going to have an 11 a.m. service, which means I need to do that Instagram post. Ooh, I have work to do. Okay. So I'm going to go do that and get something to eat. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you soon. Which means next time. All right, beloveds.